Good afternoon, students. I wanted to read to you another book. Since we read Peter Rabbit yesterday, I thought it would be fun to read about Benjamin Bunny. In the story of Peter Rabbit, he mentions Benjamin Bunny, his cousin. Now today, I'm going to read on an iPad instead of in a book because I know that a lot of people don't have tons of books laying around their house, but a lot of people do have either phones or iPads or computers or Kindles or some sort of device. So what I did is I logged in. This book is on hoopladigital.com, and I created an account using my library card information from my county library. Now I'm in Prince William County, Virginia, and so if you're watching it here, then you can get 10 downloads on Hoopla a month. But if you're not in Prince William County, you'll have to check with your library. There's a lot of books on public domain, and that's what this one is. So this is A Tale of Benjamin Bunny by Beatrix Potter, the same author as yesterday. So that's the beginning. Now she's both the author and the illustrator. She traveled quite a bit, and she drew pictures like from her travels and around her house and around her garden, and she just made up these stories. And you can make up stories like this too. So, The Tale of Benjamin Bunny. One morning, a little rabbit sat on a bank. He prickled his ears and listened to the trit-trot of a pony. The carriage was coming along the road. It was driven by Mr. McGregor, and beside him sat Mrs. McGregor in her nicest bonnet. As soon as they had passed, Benjamin Bunny slid down the road with a hop, skip, and a jump to his relations. That wood was full of rabbit holes, and in the neatest, sandiest hole of them all lived his aunt and cousins, Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. Miss Rabbit sold herbs, rosemary tea, and lavender, but Benjamin did not come to see his aunt. He came to see his cousin Peter. Peter was sitting by himself, and he looked poorly. He was dressed in a red cotton handkerchief. This one's not red, but I have a little handkerchief. I guess after he lost his clothes in the last story, his mom had to dress him in a handkerchief. Peter, said little Benjamin. Who's got your clothes? Peter replied, the scarecrow in Mr. McGregor's garden. And then he described how he had been chased about the garden and dropped his shoes and coat. Little Benjamin sat beside his cousin and assured him that Mr. McGregor was gone in the carriage, certainly out for the day. Peter said he hoped that it would rain. At this point, old Miss Rabbit's voice was heard inside the rabbit hole. Cottontail, Cottontail, fetch me some more calamine. Oh, there's Peter. Peter sat, and he thought he would go for a walk for a while. They got up to the top of the wall at the bottom of the wood, and they looked down on the garden. His coat and his shoes were plainly upon the scarecrow. Little Benjamin said, it spoils clothes to squeeze under a gate. The proper way is to crawl down the pear tree. Peter fell down head first, but it was of no consequence. The soil had been newly raked, and it was quite soft. There had been sown some lettuce. They left little footmarks in the soil. Little Benjamin said that the first thing that could be done was to get back Peter's clothes in order that they might be able to use the pocket handkerchief. So they got back his clothes from the scarecrow. It had been raining all night, and the shoes were quite wet. They would fill their handkerchief with onions and give it as a present for his aunt. Peter did not enjoy himself. He kept hearing noises, Ugh. Benjamin was perfectly at home, and he sat by eating the lettuce. He said that he had a habit of coming to the garden with his father, Big Benjamin. Oops. The lettuce was certainly fine, but Peter didn't eat anything. He wanted to go home. Oh, presently he dropped half the onions. Little Benjamin said that it was not possible to go back up the pear tree with a load of vegetables. So he led the way boldly towards the other end of the garden. They went along the little walk on planks. The mice sat on their doorsteps, cracking cherry stones. Presently, Peter let the pocket handkerchief go. They got among the flower pots, frames, and tubs. Peter heard noises, worse than ever. His eyes were as big as lollipops. He was a step or two in front of his cousin when he suddenly stopped. That was when the little rabbits saw what was around the corner. Little Benjamin took one look, and then half a minute and less, he hid himself and Peter and the onions underneath a large basket. The cat got up and stretched herself. She sniffed at the basket. Perhaps she liked onions. And she sat down on top of the basket for 5 hours. I cannot draw you a picture of Peter and Benjamin underneath that basket. It was quite dark, and the smell of onions was awful. Now, I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to pause, and I'm not going to tell you what happens in the story because I know that you can find the tale of Benjamin Bunny online, and you can read the rest for yourself, or you can have a parent read the rest to you. But I do encourage you, if you don't have books at home, to definitely get online and see what's available, either for checkout or in the public domain. Public domain means there's no copyright and anybody can publish them. And that's what I published. That's what I read today, a book in the public domain. All right. I miss you guys.